Hadi in Indonesia. You're live with Eric and Zod. What would you like to talk about today?
Hello, guys. Hi, happy birthday, Eric.
Hey, thank you.
And hello, Zod.
Hey.
Okay. I will talk about my story with drug addiction and how Jesus cured my drug addiction. So my name is Adi. I'm from Indonesia. I was born and raised Catholic. Years ago. So before, I'm sorry that English is my third language. So
that's okay. You sound great so far, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so years ago, I was hooked on a very addictive drugs called crystal meth. And I went to, crystal meth is very addictive, actually. And I went to rehab once, and I relapsed in less than a week. And then after something happened to me, I was busted by the police, and I went to prison for 6 months. Keep in mind that unlike in the United States, in prison in Indonesia, you can do drugs freely. Unlike in the United States, so drugs are everywhere. So I'm not gonna lie, I still, in my first couple of weeks in prison, I still do crystal meth. However, I joined the Christian Protestant community in the prison, and a voluntary priest that comes once or twice a week to lead the prayer told me that Jesus can heal me. Every time, he said that every time I had temptation, urge to do drugs, just pray hard and keep Jesus in mind, that you don't want to disappoint Jesus. Because I tried that. I tried it for every day. I pray, and although there's a temptation from in the prison, because in the environment there was like many people do drugs there. I did not. I resist the urge. I managed to resist the urge, and after I get out from prison, I get my life back on track, and I get my life on track. I get a job. I get my own business.
Okay.
And I believe that without Jesus, it's not possible.
So you called in to give us your testimony.
Yeah. That's my testimony.
Zod, do you want to take this or?
Sure. Yeah. I would say first off, I'm very happy for you for what you've accomplished, and I think it's a great thing that you managed to kick that habit. Aside from that, it's really, I've heard these kinds of stories a lot. I've had family members say that they gave up drinking because of Jesus or various things like that. And I don't really want to call into question your personal experience too much, because I think that can be a personal thing when it was such a big deal to you. But aside from hearing that that's your story and that you attribute it to God or Jesus or religion or whatever, I don't see much reason to accept God as the reason for it, I guess. I guess I would wonder why you attribute this to God, why you think that he caused you to quit versus, it was something in your own efforts that led you to do that, and maybe Christianity, it just as a religion, inspired you to.
I think yes, because I went to rehab once, and I see that and I relapsed in less than a week. But when I joined the Christian community, I focus. Every time I have the urge to do drugs, I focus to pray, and it helps me a lot. And I tried to quit drugs before, but it doesn't work. But after I pray, it works.
Sure. So
I guess.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I guess the issue with that for me is that, and this isn't to invalidate your story or anything like that, but for me as somebody listening from the outside and trying to take meaning from it, I struggle with the fact that it is purely anecdotal. One thing you tried didn't work, and then another thing apparently did work. There are all kinds of factors behind what you did when you feel Jesus was bringing you out of drugs, or that God was saving you from it, or that it was miraculous. And there are all kinds of exercises, including prayer, that could have value as a purely physical exercise that might or might not be related to God. So we really haven't made that connection in your story. The problem with anecdotes is that they can kind of cut both ways. So rehab might not have fixed it, and God did. I've personally, and this is within my own family, had stories of people who felt that God had saved them from drinking and then relapsed from that. And so I think that it's purely a personal story on your part, and the fact that turning to Christianity worked from you, that's great, and I congratulate you for that. But to me, from the outside, it doesn't really demonstrate anything about the supernatural efficacy of the practice, or the idea that God actually was what saved you from that. So that's where I have trouble gaining traction with your story, or getting much, at least supernatural meaning from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Adi, I'm sure that you probably had an idea of what we were going to say about this, right? You're giving us your testimony, and the idea that your belief is what cured you of your addiction. I'm sure you know that plenty of people have called in to say that before. So what were you expecting our response to be? What did you want to get out of this call?
I'm just saying that for me, it's not possible that any other way. It's because of Jesus that.
Wait, hold on. So wait. I'm not going to invalidate the experience that you got off of drugs, and that you think that it was Jesus. That's perfectly fine. For you to say it was impossible any other way, do you think anybody has ever gotten off of drugs by themselves?
Yeah.
Okay, so what makes you so special that you are uniquely unqualified to be able to do it? Why are you unable to do it, but everyone else is?
Because I guess I was badly, at the time, I was badly hooked and addicted by crystal meth. Crystal meth is a hard drugs, by the way. It's not.
I know a lot about crystal meth, my friend. It's something that has plagued my family in the past. I know plenty about crystal meth. You don't need to explain more about that. I'm asking you, why are you so unique that you are uniquely unable to do this by yourself? And have you considered that accessing community and getting follow-up and regularly getting that kind of help and using things like introspection help people get over addiction? Could it be that the things that you were doing had less to do with God and more to do with the fact that you put yourself in a situation where you were geared to succeed better? You had support. Support is incredibly important. You had, a personal resolve that even in your times of weakness, you went, you know what, I'm going to sit and think about this. And even if you take the God out, that's an incredible story. I think the sad thing is that you think that you didn't do it.
But the community, I was hooked. I was getting into the community because of Jesus, because of they were all Christians, and in the name of God, they helped me.
So, hold on. I don't understand that. Say that again.
No, because the first reason I got into the Christian community because of God. Because if I don't believe in God, there's no community for me. Right?
Yeah, sure.
If there's no God belief, there's no community. But that's not the same thing as without God. I'm struggling to see what part God actually played in this. I see certain exercises you did, and I see a community of people. But when you say because of Jesus or because of God, what did that actual contribution on the part of God look like? And how was it differentiated from you doing meditative exercises or participating in a community? That's what I'm struggling to see here.
Because on my personal experience, it's just that it's hard to say.
It is.
It's hard to say because when I was, my withdrawal, my body is like shaking so much, and I found that praying helps. That's my testimony.
Well, I mean, sure.
And one thing I mean, when we ask you these probing questions, one thing I want to emphasize is the biggest thing here is that you did break that habit. And I think that's the most important thing. And I don't mean to belabor your explanation so hard that we lose sight of that, or that we minimize what you've accomplished. I think that is a great thing. One thing that I'm a little leery of, as far as your personal perspective on this, is seeing it in terms of disappointing Jesus. That's one thing that I think the really good thing that I take from your story is that you broke a really bad habit that was destructive for you and was a tragic part of your life, and now your life has improved. What I would hope that you could take away from this is that your life is now better because of what has happened, and that's the important thing. For me, I know it's going to be different for you if you believe in God and Jesus plays an important part in your life, but the focus on disappointing a person that you can't see, can't hear, we don't have a good reason to think exists, puts a lot of the emphasis in the wrong place. And that's where I could see a certain danger in this moving forward for you, is misunderstanding what was actually healthy and what had happened and what was actually important and what had happened. But beyond that, whatever reason you attribute to this, I'm very happy with where you've come, and I would want to emphasize that. So, I mean, the biggest thing is congratulations on what you did, regardless of what you attribute it to. I would just be a little careful to recognize what's actually important and what you want to maintain moving forward in your life.
I perfectly said, Zod. I got nothing else to say. Hadi, thank you for calling in, though, and please take the time and look at this call, because we are supportive of and are glad that you got over this and that you got through that addiction. Absolutely. You should give yourself more credit, man. That's all. And I think that one place to look, if you want to study it, is look in and see what the effects of community is on getting over drugs. Because there are lots of communities, not just religious ones, but I mean, you have hobby groups, people being there for each other, lifelong friends. When you surround yourself with people, it helps a lot. And that could be something that you might not have attributed that to. And it's still wonderful. It's just not necessarily Jesus.
I never look at that way. But anyway, thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Take care, my man.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that was nice. I liked that.